It's one of those days where, like, I got off work and was asleep about an hour later and didn't wake up till like 8 o'clock, And even then, I like talked to a friend for a little bit and then laid back down and then got back up, maybe, But long story short, it's been a sleepy day. I gotta work overtime this week, so I don't like to be exhausted at work, you know what I'm saying? But like today, the way I crashed out, I could just tell I was tired. Now I'm up and there's like a thunderstorm over us and everything. And, the thunder is like basing hard or whatever. But what's on my mind is like reading energies and stuff and practicing that or whatever. But I think I made a video maybe on YouTube, I don't know, but when my kids were younger and like one would come into the room like behind my back, behind me, I would try to guess which one it was by the energy I was feeling. That's one way, I tried to hone it on a like more personal level, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And what would happen throughout my life is like say if I'm alone in a room, I'll just get like a weird feeling, like maybe on the right side of my neck or something. And like whenever I turn into the pain, I guess you could say, then I'd see like a spider like over there in the corner where I wasn't looking, and the trajectory would like match my neck. And I always wondered so does that mean like his intensity or the spider in this case, its intensity is focused on me, because apparently he had to get up there somehow and it didn't alert me. But, now I'm getting a sensation, and when I cater to it, boom, And then anyway, I was telling my brother about this, we were teens, a long time ago and everything. And he was like, yeah, it's true. Like, if you focus on something, if you look at something, you can begin to feel a sensation, He was like, for real. Like, he was like, look at the scary movies. Like, that's how a lot of people get caught, because they're like peeking through the peephole trying to stare at the monster and everything. But it's also sending energy. But anyway, so like for example, I was at work at one point, not like yesterday or nothing, but anyway, I was at work at one point, and my back was turned, but behind my back, let's just say I felt heat like between my shoulder blades and like in my tuchus area. So I'm feeling this intense heat, so I'm feeling it, and I'm like, whew, I feel like a man is desiring me or something. So I turn around, and it's a female, like maybe 4 feet away. She's like staring directly at me with her hand on her hip and stuff. And I kind of furrow my brow, because I'm like, okay, like, even if she's standing there with her hand on her hip, like, why is she producing all this masculine energy in my direction? But anyway, I guess she kind of snapped out of whatever she was doing and saw me furrowing my brow and kind of walked out of my eye line. And there was a man right behind her staring right at me as soon as she moved. So I turned around and, kind of giggled to myself, because I was like, I knew I was feeling strong, intense, masculine energy. You see what I'm saying? Like in a concentrated form. But when I turned around and saw her, it gave me confusion. Like, is she causing all this? Like, what the, But then when she moved and the guy was like, she was like perfectly blocking him. And so that's one way. What made me think of this is like today, like whenever my line has downtime or whatever, I guess sometimes I'll stretch. But for the most part, I like to be stationary. I like to be stationary because, I do work on a line, you know what I'm saying? So being stationary is my way of, like, once the line kicks back up, you know what I'm saying? it's kind of like I appreciate the movement again after, you know, even if you're only still for like, you know, 90 seconds or whatever, you know, just being so still, you know. But anyway, so I was being still, but like suddenly, like my left shoulder, like wanted to stretch. It just felt constricted. So I wanted to like, maybe it was already constricted, but I started noticing it. But anyway, so I wanted to like stretch it. Oh, I wanted to stretch it out. And when I stretched it out, that felt good. So, you know, I left my arm open. And then like my chest, the energy flow from that area felt great. And I wasn't thinking about it, but then I like looked up off into the distance and like, you know, saw like a strong alpha male over there in the distance. And then I just started laughing. Because even though I didn't see him enter the room or anything, you know, I feel like my body felt that energy and wanted to open toward that direction, like subconsciously. You see what I'm saying? Like back here knows before up here knows, you know. So the conscious area, when I saw him, so then I started paying attention to every time I had a desire to turn, you know, especially when I was so focused on, like, let's just say stand straight. And so now all of a sudden, like I want to stretch this elbow out. And sure enough, you know, a superstar is over there in that corner, you know. Maybe he was walking and got distracted. Who knows? Whatever reason, he's over there in that corner. But my body wants to turn and gravitate toward it. You know, I'll probably revisit this. But anyway, all right, energies.